Welcome to episode 4 of Big Head Mode, where we're going to be going over the week's biggest gaming news. So, sit tight, and let's crack open a cold one and get right into it. 1738. So the first thing we need to talk about is some pretty crummy news. There's a couple of crummy news articles that are happening this week, but the first one is that Sony have announced that the cost of their PlayStation 5 range of consoles is going to be going up by about £90, and that's wild. So what that means is the PS5 Pro is now going to be going up to £789. Without the disc drive, that's £789. With a disc drive, you're probably looking at, if you can get it at retail price, so if you pick up one with a disc drive, that's an additional £70. So you're looking at about 860 quid for that console. That's just ridiculous. At this point now, like, it begs the question, like, what is next gen gonna cost? Because if that's the cost of the Pro line of console, where do you start from for the next gen? When is the next gen? It's just insane. The base PS5 is now £570 as well, which is just, like, these consoles are meant to get cheaper as they age, but these are just getting more and more expensive. It's just crazy. Even the PS Portal's gone up in price by about 20 quid. It's the Portal. It hasn't really got much in it. It relies on the actual console itself to do all the grunt work. It's just absolutely insane that this is happening. Now, they are stating that this is due to, ongoing economic climate and worldwide conditions, and shipping is more expensive because of the war that is currently going on. You've also got the fact that AI data centers are eating up all the RAM and storage prices. So it's just insane right now how much these consoles are costing. And I get it. No one wants to be making these consoles more expensive because, hell, if you go back a couple of generations, you were getting GameCubes for $99 on discount. Like, I saw a photo of it earlier and it just made me go, wow, things have changed. So these kick in on April 2nd. So if you're someone who's on the fence about upgrading to a PS5 Pro, you might want to look into it sooner rather than later, because come April 2nd, you're going to be paying £90 more for it. Well done, Sony, you got me.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
I was thinking about upgrading in the future, but when you said that was going to happen, I kind of had to at this point. I managed to pick this up for a good price from a local store. With the disc drive, it cost me only about £10 more than what retail price of PS5 Pro normally goes for at the moment. So yeah, all of that included, not too bad. Didn't want to spend out for it, but got a Pro. So PS5 is currently by here, as you can see. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Probably going to hold on to it for a little bit and stream from it. Who knows? This isn't the first price upgrade that has happened to these consoles. I mean, upgrade is probably the wrong word, but price increase, I guess, because an upgrade would imply that you're getting something more for your money, but you're not really in this case. You're just getting the same for more. It's not a good deal. It's rough. It is rough out there. And these consoles constantly going up is just not a fun thing and not a good look for the industry as a whole. And like I said, it begs the question of what's going to happen next. Consoles are going to be what? £1,000 starting price. It kind of makes the PS3 launch look good. I wasn't sure about which way to order this show, but I'm going to put another bit of bad news at the start so we can actually end on some really nice stuff, okay? But something else that happened this week is that Epic Games announced that they're going to be laying off about 1,000 employees. So the Fortnite developer has come out and said that due to a downturn in engagement with the game, that they're going to be getting rid of about 1,000 people who've been working on it. And apparently this came as a bit of a shock to those teammates. Like, it is rough out there in them streets right now, and I feel for anyone in this industry that has been let go, made redundant, just straight up fired, replaced or whatever, whilst these big CEOs are still there raking in all this money. Fortnite is one of those games which apparently looked like it couldn't fail, like it was too big to fail. But I'm not saying the game itself has failed, but they've definitely been spending out a bit more for it. Now, I have heard conflicting things. One of them was that obviously server prices have gone up, so they have increased the cost of like V-Bucks and stuff in the game. But also that whole thing with Apple when they were pulled from the store and they were suing them, and there was countersuits and all that jazz, and then they were suing Google and all these other like lawsuits that were going on that they didn't really come out on top with, apparently cost them a lot more than they were anticipating. So yeah, it's rough. But also, like, Fortnite is what apparently was boasting quite good profits last year and the year before, but at this point, you kind of wonder, like, whose pockets were they lining? There's already been, like, employees that have come out and said what the results of this have been, like, detrimental to them. Like, obviously, aside from the fact they've lost their livelihood, like, the impact with things like health insurance and all that, just not a good look for the company in total. And I really hope that these devs can find themselves like in good positions. Like obviously if you've been working at Epic on Fortnite, you're going to be of some good caliber. So I really hope that they can pick themselves back up and find themselves in a good, stable role. But this industry is rough. I've had friends get made redundant and lose their jobs to studio closures, and it's horrible to see what happens to them. Hopefully all the people that are affected can, bounce back and, find something to put their passion into and still continue to be amazing at what they do. But yeah, it's rough. I mean, I don't like Fortnite in the first place, but I never thought it was going to be at a point where that game was going to be the one that was going to be having layoffs associated with it. But here we are. I mean, last week I reported on EA laying off people who have been involved with Battlefield 6, which was, one of the best-selling games, not the best-selling game of 2025. So at this point, we don't really know. Let's get on to some happier stuff, okay? Now, I also said many, many moons ago that rumors are not things that I really want to talk about, because I don't want to get my own hopes up to start off with, but also don't want to get your hopes up and have you telling me that I was the one who, told you this was going to happen. But this one rumor, well, two rumors have kind of been really, really, really interesting. And someone at Nintendo has leaked out they're going to be working on a remake of Ocarina of Time for the end of the year. The other rumor that has come out is that there's going to be a Star Fox game for the summer, which is really cool. Like, I was someone who loved Lilac Wars when I was younger, because that's what it was called over here in the UK. And it was class. And I loved Star Fox Adventures on the GameCube as well. It was meant to be Dinosaur Planet. It got turned into Star Fox Adventures, and I loved it. I thought it was a class game. But apparently this new Star Fox game that's coming out is going to be leaning towards the older style. So it'll be really interesting to see what this is like if it does come to fruition. We have been wanting a good Star Fox game. I mean, the Wii U one was all right, but the constantly looking down at the gamepad and looking at the screen, we're not built for that. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see if this does actually come to fruition. Not pinning my hopes on it actually being a thing. I am kind of hoping that this one leak is true. But the other one is about Ocarina of Time getting a remake towards the end of the year. Controversial opinion. I don't want it. I don't want a remake of Ocarina of Time again. We've already had a remake of Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. It doesn't need a remake. That game is perfect. And that's not me saying that. That is Metacritic saying that. I sound like Becky Lynch when I'm doing this. It is one of the highest, if not, actually, it's the highest rated game on Metacritic. It is insanely good. It is most people's favorite game of my generation anyway, and afterwards as well. It is just a gorgeous game, and it has stood the test of time. Granted, there are a few things that have aged a little bit poorly, like the camera controls for one. That said, it all works together to make that game what it is. I don't want them to mess with it, because I don't want them to get it wrong. I know if Nintendo are the ones that are doing it, there's a very high chance it's going to be good, but I'm not fussed. Like, obviously I'll pick it up. That'd be stupid of me to not pick it up. I'm just not excited for it, and I'm kind of like, that's Ocarina of Time. That is the game. That is the Zelda game. I mean, Majora's Mask is arguably a better one, but Ocarina of Time is like such an important video game. Remaking it is such a dangerous thing. I don't want it to happen. I'm very content with how we have Ocarina of Time at the moment. If it's done like Final Fantasy VII Remake was done, then I'm not really sure, because that changed the story. I really hope they don't do that. There's a lot of things they could do wrong with this. I don't really know what it's going to be like. I don't know. I don't want it to be true. And that sounds really bad as a massive Zelda fan, but it's just not something that I want to happen. Just give me bloody Twilight Princess on my fucking Switch, all right? Bring over the HD remakes of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and we'll call it a day. Just put Twilight Princess in the GameCube section of NSO. Give me that game. Why are you not giving me that game? And speaking of Star Fox stuff, Nintendo, well, I guess Nintendo, but the actual Super Mario Galaxy movie put up a random tweet the other day that Star Fox is in the film. And myself and a lot of other people were saying, like, why have you announced this? Just let us figure this out for ourselves. Let us find it in the film. Let us watch the film and have this, amazing thing happen. Very weird. You also notice I'm not showing any footage of this movie, because last time I put stuff in here, I got flagged by, the studio that creates it because of, copyright. And I get it. But at the same time, all the other game trailers don't really matter, but you seem to care. Who am I to argue? Anyway, I don't see why they've put this trailer out there, this trailer, poster, whatever they put out there. I don't see why they put it out. I think it ruins that surprise. I absolutely love the first Star Wars? I mean, I did love the first Star Wars film, but I also love the first Super Mario film, not the one with Bob Hoskins, and that film was an actual travesty. It doesn't exist, if you ask me. The first Super Mario's animated film was incredible. I was sat there like a kid. I was giggling like a child. I was getting so many nostalgic references. To this day, I can still point out a load of them in my head from memory because of how excited I was at the time. I am super looking forward to this next film, even though I've not really played the Galaxy games. To ruin a surprise like that, it's a bit weird. Don't get me wrong. Class that he's in there does set up the fact that there's going to be a Star Fox maybe universe out there. There's going to be Star Fox TV maybe, Star Fox, who knows what they'll do with it. There's so much they could do with it. Like why spoil that surprise? Hey, the other thing that happened this week was we had the Xbox Partner Showcase, but the only thing that really stood out from that was Stranger Than Heaven, and aside from that, it was a very forgettable event, so I'm not even going to really talk on that. But the thing I do want to mention is the fact that the GBA turned 25, and that makes me feel very old. I remember getting one of them and getting Super Mario Bros. 2 for it. It was Mario Bros. 2 that I got for it, and it was just class. Playing that game portably, it was like, oh, I've got a SNES in my hands. This is amazing. And I absolutely loved it. It made the family holiday that I was on, like, you know, as a kid, like it was class to have like this thing to play on, and it was so cool. I absolutely loved that games console. I thought it was an amazing thing, and yeah, to celebrate that is great, and I really hope Nintendo remember that they have other anniversaries outside of Mario. We're still waiting for them to do something for Zelda. But yeah, the GBA Turn 25 really did make me feel old, but a class console nonetheless. So that is it for episode 4 of Big Head Mode. I appreciate you checking this out. I have come back from the gym. I might look a mess. I am cooking some chicken. I'm going to a gig. I've got to watch Missing Link and Gridiron, if you know who they are. Like, they are class. Yeah, that is it. It has been fun to share all this with you. I'm still working on making this show have its own little identity and all that. There was no midweek video just because work and life was so busy this week. So I will be hopefully getting something out next week for it. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for checking this out. Thank you for sticking around. Don't forget, if you're new here, that this comes out every Sunday, I want to say. This is meant to come out on Sunday, but obviously I've got prior engagements tonight, so I may not get this edited in time, but it'll be out Monday at the latest.
That was a lie.
Big Head Mode every Sunday usually. Tune in, stick around for it. I'm working on getting a Discord up and sorted for you. I've got a few people in there just tweaking it all, and then I'll be sharing that out for people to come and join in. We're back, we're good. Like I said, we'll probably be streaming some PS5 stuff in the future. I've still got more Switch stuff I need to stream. I've been playing Pocopia loads. I need to get back on the Zelda stuff and Resident Evil Requiem. So yeah, we got a lot going on. I got reviews going up on Rapid Reviews this week as well, especially for some of the kit that you might see behind me. I'm not laying any names out there or anything like that, but yeah, thank you for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and I will see you for the next one.